Hi, my name is Borys, and in this video I'm going to show you 5 amazing samplers in Ableton Live. If you are not using them all, you are missing out on some amazing features that they have. Before we get into the video, if you like what we are doing on this channel, make sure to subscribe. We've got more content about Ableton coming up. If you'd like to learn Ableton 12 with all the foundations of music production, check out our Beginner to Advanced Live 12 Start to Finish course, and make sure to also check out the Everything Bundle Collector's Edition, which includes all of the courses, sound packs, and project files in our store. And to see all of that, check the links in the video description. Alright, so first of all, of course, if we just take a sample and we throw it onto a MIDI track, we get it in a simpler device. And while we're gonna go into details of some of the more advanced controls in Simpler, I think actually the most advanced device we have in Ableton as far as sampling goes is the sampler. Now, let me just show you how easy it is to convert something in a simpler into sampler. You don't need to drag sampler onto the new MIDI track. You just right click on simpler and you can either go to sampler or to drum sampler. And first of all, we're gonna choose sampler. All right, so here we have one of the Ableton presets made in sampler. And this just nicely demonstrates how you can create multi-sampled patches. So what I mean by multi-sampled patches is that basically you are not pitching around a single sample, but instead you're basically recording a few different notes and in this way increasing the overall quality of the sound. So here we have 4 samples, and let me just show you this in the browser. So we have C1, C2, C3, and C4. And this is the same synthesizer patch, just recorded at a different C note. And as you can see here, you can just drop samples into this section. You just expand the zone and you can drop as many samples as you like here. And then if we take a look at the key tab, we can just expand these sections and control which notes are going to be corresponding to the samples that we have. So the C1 sample controls everything below F#1. The C2 sample covers everything from G1 to F#2 and so on. And in this way, we are just using 4 notes to cover the entire range of from C-2 to B8. All right, so let's just hear what this would sound like if we just had one sample. First of all, let's play something now. All right, let's take all this MIDI that we've played. So now I'm gonna disable everything other than the highest note, and let's hear what this sounds like if we just had one single note. As you can hear, the lower notes, they're not nearly as powerful. But there's not that much of a difference. In the higher registers, basically if you're gonna be using just a single sample for the entirety of your MIDI keyboard, it's rather better to take a higher pitch sample and pitch it down in the lower registers than going the other way around. Because if we take a higher sample and we pitch it down, we typically get a more muffled sound, and this could be fine for just simple bass notes. But if we go the other way around and we try to pitch a bass note into a high register, it's just going to change the timbre and the performance will sound completely off. It's going to sound a bit chipmunky, basically. So in this way, you can create in Sampler really nice multi-sampled patches. And there's a lot more that we can do with Sampler. For instance, we've got the pitch envelope, which we can use to create some effects. We also have a filter with different filtering circuits. We have a filter envelope. Of course, an amp envelope. And we also have a great modulation section. And with the LFO number 3, we can control many different parameters. So if you, for instance, wanted to modulate a filter drive or if you just wanted even to modulate another LFO parameter, this is all possible. We also have an oscillator section. We even have FM synthesis here. And this can be used for some really interesting sound design. For instance, for creating weird, scary effects, and yeah, many different use cases. And we can also just modulate it with different waveforms. And we can also do AM modulation. And we can even add an aux envelope and assign this to the volume of the oscillator. So a lot of crazy things can be done here. All right, so the next thing I wanted to show you is the drum sampler. And this is the second option we get when we right-click a sampler. You can also convert any sample to the drum sampler. And this is a new version of something we had previously as a drum synth. So we had the DS sampler, and this is a bit more of a revised and mature version of that device. And we have some really nice creative editing possibilities here. So we have a simple drum kit loaded up. Let's try, for instance, processing the snare. We can add noise, we can stretch it, we can add weird, we can add pitch envelopes. This is a sort of transient shaper. We have this 8-bit function. Again, FM modulation, ring modulation. We have a sub-oscillator, which would be nice on the kick drum. And then, of course, I really like the noise, which can sort of fill out some space. So if we've got this hi-hat, it's as simple as and there's a lot that can be done here, and you've got also this nice section with creative effects. All right, the next sampler I wanted to show you is the Impulse. And the Impulse is a sort of Roland style, really simplified 8 sample slot drum machine, you could say. So you load up any sample you like into one of these 8 slots, and you've got limited controls. So here we have loaded up a 606 Roland kit. We've got simple transposition. What I like is this stretch function, and it allows you to easily make a sound snappy or extend the tail. And for instance, what's great is that you can assign the velocity to the stretch. So if we take it all the way down and we, for instance, just play some 16th notes, let's say we just have this bit, and if we randomize the velocity, so we can just click randomize, you can hear that it opens up. So it's really easy to add a bit of dynamics. If we also increase the velocity, this hi-hat just becomes way more interesting. We could add random panning. We can change the decay. And we also have different options like saturation. Let's go back to the kick drum. This already gives us way more drive. Of course, we've got filtering, and we've got 2 types of filtering, for low pass at least. This can also be randomized and assigned to velocity, and we also have a global time and volume and transposition control. So what's great about this is that if we for instance, just add a really simple pattern here, we can easily increase the time of all of our samples and decrease it, so you can add these crazy modulations. So this is really, really cool, and I don't think Impulse is used enough in today's production. And if you're just, for instance, making lo-fi house tracks, I don't think you need much more than the creative possibilities of Impulse. If anything, I think the limitations of this device are really inspiring and can lead to really awesome sounding results. All right, so the next device is a bit more of a crazy one, and it's called Emit. And this is just a preset called Switch in Emit, and we have loaded up a sort of bell sample, and if we now press play, you're gonna hear a weird ambient texture that we've generated. So the Emit device is really curious. You've got two emitters, and you can change the X and Y position of these in this spectral view of the sample. And these emitters, they emit points, which you can visually see when we play. I'm just gonna disable the audio. So you can see these balls that are emitted from these boxes. And you have not only X and Y controls, but also you've got the angle. And if we change the angle, it's going to just emit at a different angle. So now we've set it to go over here. So if we delete the first emitter, you're gonna see how it just scrolls through the sample in spectral mode. And you can increase the force to make it a bit faster, or you can make it very slow. And you can do many, many different things here. So for ambient textures, I think Emit is really, really cool. And I wonder what you guys can do with this one. Okay, and the last one, I said we're gonna take a look at some interesting possibilities with Simpler. And I think one potential cool use case of Simpler is actually making your own synth here. So you can, for instance, take some beautiful saw waves and square waves from an analog synth, which sound really fat. And you can load them up inside Simpler, and you can create beautiful patches by utilizing the built-in filter, LFO, amplitude envelope, and the looping as well for creating sustained sounds. So here we have this sound. We can disable the effects so you can hear the sound without any processing. Sounds like this without the filter. We can add the filter, choose a simple low pass, maybe on one of these analog modes. And you already have a beautiful sound. You can add an LFO. And you already have a nice sound that can be used in so many cases. Another thing that I did here, you can see it's looping in this area. If we disable loop, it's just gonna stop playing at the end. So you need to enable it, and then you can just choose a length that feels good and increase the fade. And at the point where you can't really hear any phasing, any major stutters, I think that's fine for a simple sound. Yeah, and this way you can create beautiful pads, beautiful plugs, and all of that if you really take advantage of the beautiful functions here of Simpler. You can always just expand this view and just see the details of what's going on here. You can go pretty far by just messing around with the filter, the envelopes, and the LFO. All right, I hope you found these sampler devices useful. Make sure to check out our Music Production Academy with lots of start-to-finish courses on making tracks in various genres. And if you'd like to learn Ableton 12 with all the foundations of music production, check out the Beginner to Advanced Live 12 Start-to-Finish course. Make sure to also check out the Everything Bundle Collector's Edition, which includes all of the courses, sound packs and project files in our store. And to see all of that, check the links in the video description. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, write us a comment, and I will see you in the next ones.